Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be so simple, but it's really going to help your driving of the golf ball, and it's all going to be about that trail arm. A fault that I often see at setup is that trail arm. So for me as a right-handed golfer, that's my right arm, too rigid. And often that causes the shoulders and the forearms to aim more open. So for me as a right-handed golfer, that would be to the left. But it causes a lot of other issues. We tend to see that trail arm staying too high, not folding correctly in the backswing. And when this happens, it's very hard to get the club on plane and get good wrist angles. Why are our wrist angles important? Well, they ultimately control the club face position and therefore how easy it is to square the golf club at impact. Now I mentioned here driver, but this is actually relevant with any golf club in the bag. I see it more pronounced with driver because the ball's more forwards in the stance. I often see players almost setting up this way where they're reaching towards the golf ball and their shoulders and forearms tend to end up more open anyway. But as I said, this elbow position definitely relevant with every golf club in the bag. I don't want to see that arm on top. So if I was a downline camera here, I don't want to see my left arm underneath my right arm. I almost, from the downline camera, I just want to see my right arm here, my trail arm as setup. Or if anything, I'd like this arm to be above the other one. So let's start with this arm folded. And a great way to do it is actually just set up with your lead hand on the golf club. With your trail hand, feel like it's come out your pocket and it's coming underneath the golf club. Or just simply put it on and then just try and flex it inwards slightly towards your rib cage. Now this movement is really going to help it fold in the backswing, and I've got for you a really great simple drill that you can do at home or on the range to again work on this trail arm position. And the importance of it: improving your swing plane, improving your wrist angles, therefore improving that club face control. So it's vital. If we can get on plane and square the face, do you know what? We're going to be good. We're going to hit good quality golf shots. So it's such an important part. So this is a pretty simple thing that's set up. And then we want it to fold, and at halfway back, or when my left arm, lead arm, is at parallel to the ground, I either want my forearms level or I want to feel like my lead hand is slightly on top. Now the cheating way of doing that would be here, coming out of posture. You can see my spine angle is rising. I want to maintain my spine angle, but allow this trail arm to fold in such a way that my forearms are pretty level. I get a lot of golfers with this type of movement where the trail arm works high, sometimes inwards and retracting. So I often see this type of movement. So the arm's getting stuck behind the golfer, and the golfer really under rotates and tends to throw the club out to in. Allowing this to fold correctly, you can see it halfway back. I'm perfectly on plane. I've got the butt end of the club here, pointing pretty much of the ball to target line. The club shaft is through the middle of my right bicep, and it's really going to help me to the top of the backswing here. If I can get on plane in the backswing, so much easier in the downswing. But as I said, it affects the wrist angles as well. So if that trail arm is high, what we tend to see is a cupped lead wrist. The official term is that lead wrist there is an extension. That causes the club face to be open. And that is a common amateur fault. Golfers struggle from there. We really want to get that lead wrist nice and flat, similar angle to our left forearm. And folding that trail arm correctly is really going to help you do it. So let's jump into a drill. If you just use here an alignment stick, a tour stick, and I'm going to simply pop it underneath my trail armpit. So half of it's sticking out in front of me. I'm going to get into golf setup. And what I want to try and feel is that I can get my lead arm, my left arm, touching this cane pretty early. Definitely by the time I get to left arm parallel to the ground. If my trail arm works up and high, I'll have a little flex here, and you can see there's a lot of a gap, or a big gap here, I should say, between my lead arm and the cane. So actually allowing that trail arm to fold down gets that lead arm up and hitting that cane. So I want to try and get it into this position because it's really going to help my swing path, my wrist angles, and as I said, that club face control into impact. Golfers who are getting that trail arm working high or retracting behind them, as I said, they struggle with their path, they struggle with that club face position. You don't need to hit shots doing this. You could do. I would want you to touch it, and I don't mind if you drop it on the downswing. I'll try one. I feel like I should have tried this in practice first. I'm just going to take all the pace out of it, so I'm just going to do it slowly. I'm just going to be focusing on trying to touch my lead arm to the cane early. Start with a bit of flex here in that trail arm. And you can see what I did, just taking the pace out of that one. Nicely put, about as straight as I can hit it. I've let the cane drop on the way through. So anytime you're doing a cane exercise like that, whether it's under lead arm, trail arm, working on reducing swing length, whatever it might be, allow that cane to drop really on the way through there. Otherwise we end up buckled in here, no real follow through and extension. I'm not going to use that cane again. I've got that sensation. I'm simply going to rehearse that movement before I hit shots. Let's try one more. So simply at setup, start with a bit of flex in that trail arm so it's closer to the rib cage. Get the feeling of it folding downwards. My forearms are nice and level here. Now, that doesn't mean I've got to squish my arm into my body. There is a little bit of a gap here, and that gap becomes slightly bigger at the top of the golf swing. So I'm not having to keep my arm tucked in this way. I'm just allowing it to fold downwards. As I said, that's not only improving my swing path. Apologies, Siri getting involved. It's not only going to help my swing path, but it's also going to help my wrist angles and therefore the club face. Flex that trail arm in, allow that arm to fold. Yeah, really happy with those swings.
I'm not sure I understand.
Give it a go. Let me know how you get on. I hope that video helps. Real simple. As I said, it is relevant, irons as well as driver. Smash the like button if it does help and put some comments below.